This is the Porsche Macan, and it's designed to combine a sports car with an SUV so you don't have to go and get a divorce. Now in this video I'm going to tell you if it's any good.
Buying a new car? Head to carwow to get offers from the UK's top dealers. carwow.co.uk, the car buying comparison site.
Let's kick off this video by talking about the price, and being a Porsche, obviously this is quite expensive, but then so is getting a divorce, unless you've got a prenup. So the range kicks off at £48,000, but if you want the Macan Turbo, the range topper, that starts from £69,000. Now if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can check out the lease deals we've got on the Macan through CarWow. And if you're just looking for a new car in general or need to check out reviews and compare cars, just Google CarWow. It's your go-to car buying comparison website. The Macan originally came out in 2015, but Porsche has recently given it some midlife updates, including some slight styling tweaks. So you get some bigger, more aggressive bumpers at the front with larger air intakes. And depending on which model you go for, whether it's just the normal Macan or the Macan S, the GTS or this turbo, you get a slightly different look to it. So this turbo has some extra LED lights there, as well as the LED daytime running lights in the headlamp. In fact, the headlamps themselves are actually all LED. And the turbo gets like this bigger, more aggressive bumper than the other cars, because obviously you paid more for it, so you want people to know that it's more expensive. From the side, the Macan does have quite a coupe-ish SUV look to it, with that sloping roofline. Once again, depending on which model you go for, you get more kit on it. The wheel sizes start at 18 inches, but the turbos come with 20 inches, though these wheels are actually the optional 21s, which have this gloss black paint, which will be horrible when you curb it. The turbo also gets special unique door mirrors, look, with these two slats there for added aerodynamics. Another thing that the turbo has is body coloured side skirts here, and this panel here. This has the upgraded carbon fibre. On the lesser Macan and Macan S, these areas are just black. On the GTS, they're colour coded as well, actually. Normally the turbo should have chrome window surrounds, but this one has the optional black surrounds. It just looks mean, I guess, with black, especially with this crayon paint. I love this crayon paint. The most obvious styling change that Porsche has made to the rear end of the Macan is this light bar here, which does look really nice, and the way it says Porsche in big letters there, which kind of physical 3D lettering. You've got the Macan Turbo telling you which model it is, and all cars have quad tailpipes, apart from the entry-level Macan, which has a single pipe each side. And obviously, being a Porsche, there's nothing fake, no fake vents, no fake exhaust, as I'll illustrate with this chunky CarWow log slash stick of truth. Yeah, okay, well done, Matt. Another thing that the turbo has that the other cars don't have is a dual layer roof spoiler. It also has this area colour coded, whereas on the lesser models, this bit around the number plate is black, and it just doesn't look quite as nice. There's one last design feature I want to show you which isn't new. It's the cool clamshell bonnet. And that brings me onto the engines. So the entry-level Macan has a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo with 245 horsepower. You obviously don't want that car, you want one of the 6 cylinders. And that's the Macan S, which has a 3-litre V6 turbo with 354 horsepower. Then there's the GTS version with a 2.9-litre V6 with 380 horsepower. Then there's this 2.9-litre V6 turbo in the turbo, which has 440 horsepower and 550 newton meters of torque. Porsche says this car can do 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, so I'm going to see if they're telling the truth with my specialist timing gear. So I'm going to put it into its sportiest setting, that's Sports Plus. Gearbox just into automatic, let it do it itself. Left foot on the brake, pull the throttle. Come on, dual clutch gearbox, do the business. Oh my God, that launch is brutal, and the gear changes as well. This feels very, very quick. Let's see what we got. Right, this car does 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. As you move at the Macan range, you get bigger, more powerful brakes, so you obviously get the best on this turbo. So at the rear, the disc size is 356mm, whereas at the front it's 390mm, and at the front you get 6-pot calipers. Now this car is actually fitted with the optional carbon ceramic brakes for improved braking performance, so they will set you back an extra £3,600. I want to check out the performance of these brakes. Yet again, I'm going to use my specialist timing gear and see how long it takes this car to stop from 70 miles an hour. The cone line down is going to be my braking point. I'll do a full emergency stop there, and hopefully I'll stop before the end cone, because that's 50 meters away from here. We'll find out. Let's get up to 70. Here we go, braking. Nah. Come on, brake. Ah! Might have been late on the braking. Certainly lost my specialist timing gear. It says 48.3 meters. I think it registered when I came to a halt, and then this carried on moving. Maybe the 0.3 was the distance it travelled inside the car, so it did it 48 metres. Let's give it that, come on. It was still moving after I stopped, this thing was, and it measures movement, obviously. I'm boring. One of the big changes here on the inside is that Porsche has updated the dash design, and now you have this huge central touchscreen. Now, more on that later. As before though, quality is impeccable. Porsches feel really solid and well made, and the materials are lovely as well. Being a turbo, this has some extra loveliness, so you get leather here on the door tops and on the dash, and Alcantara for the roof lining, which is lovely. It does have a very sporty feel to it, this, the way you're separated from your passenger with this big centre console. And you can get the seat quite low, so it feels more sports car-like than SUV-like, though. If you're a short arse, you can, of course, jack it up, and the seats are comfortable. You get 8-way adjustable seats as standard. These are the upgraded 18-way adjustable seats. Far too much adjustment for my brain, really. Nice sporty steering wheel with plenty of adjustment as well. It's electric on this car, look at that, love it, that's all good. One thing that is quite interesting though is that there's lots of buttons going on here, which is quite unusual on a modern car. Most things are now done through the touchscreen, but it does mean things are just easier to prod when you're driving along. Proddity prod. You get the idea, especially with the climate controls, they're nice and easy to use. The back seats of the Macan are all right if you're an average sized adult such as me, so I'm 179 centimetres tall and I've got a decent amount of headroom. The problem is with knee room, I'm okay, but I've got really short legs, I'm all tall, so me. Someone with lanky legs are going to have their knees like that, so they won't be so comfortable at all. It's just not as roomy in the back as an Audi Q5, and you don't have features such as seats you can slide or recline like you can in that car either. In fact, if you'd like to see my full in-depth video review of the Audi Q5, click on the pop-out banner up there to watch it. If you need to carry 3 in the back at once in this Macan, it is doable, but the central seat is a hard perch. Still enough headroom though, look at that. It's okay, I can just about get away with it. The body isn't the widest though, so it can be a bit of a struggle with 3 big blokes in the back. You've got Isofix anchor points here, which are quite easy to get to. Those covers that you'd snap off and then you eventually lose. If you want to fit one of those rear-facing seats, you're going to have to push this passenger seat forward a bit to get it in. Fold down this, you have an armrest with some cup holders there, so you end up putting your arm in them, so it's not so restful. Pull this down though, you've got through loading, so you can have 2 people sat either side, and some skis or 2x4 or whatever you need to carry that's longer than you can fit in the boot normally. It's okay back here, it's just not the best in class. Now let's talk about the Macan's boot, because like with the rear interior space, it's just not quite as spacious as its key competitors. But the first thing you got to do is figure out how the heck to get into the boot. Where's the button? Well, I'll show you where the button is. Look, it's just here on the rear wiper. I quite like that. The shape is actually nice and square. It's just that the capacity is 488 litres. You can compare that to a BMW X3 that has 550 litres of space in its boot. So you should be able to fit maybe 1 more suitcase in the BMW. In fact, if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can watch my full in-depth video review of that car. It does have some decent practicality though. Look, so you've got tethering points, nettage, you have your 12-volt power source there. There's some extra storage under here for things, or if you have a space over spare wheel, which is optional by the way, you're not going to have space under there. The thing that is a bit annoying is there's a touch of a load lip there, so it can be a bit more awkward to hoik bigger things out, but you do have scuff plates there so you don't damage any of the paintwork. But yeah, it could just do with being a bit bigger. And that brings on to 5 annoying things about the Porsche Macan. This part of the transmission tunnel actually intrudes into the driver's footwell, so the pedal's a bit far over to the right. Now, on the passenger side here in the UK, you don't have that, and I bet that in Germany, if you're the driver over here, it's not a problem. It's just Porsche didn't manage to move the lump across when they moved the steering wheel across. Shame. Do you prefer to suckle from the black pump? Well, bad luck. The Macan is only available with petrol engines. There are no diesels offered. A lot of things that should be standard on a car at this price just aren't. For instance, auto-dimming side mirrors. No. £252 please. If you want heated front seats, that's £294. If you would like speed sign recognition like you get on cheap super minis as standard, oh no, not here, that's £252 as well. How about auto emergency braking? Surely that comes as standard on this car. No it doesn't. Do you prefer Android to Apple like I do? Well, Porsche's, f you. You're not getting Android Auto in our cars, it's Apple CarPlay only, you plebs. I need to load this car full of stuff, so I'm going to remove the load cover. Oh look, it's solid. I can't just leave it in the boot and then put things on top of it, as it might break. Fortunately though, we've got some underfloor storage. It's bound to fit. Porsche's engineers will have definitely thought of this. Yes, they made it fit perfectly. Very happy with that. It's all good. Everything's fine. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. The car gets an off-road button. So what that does is set the car, the gearbox, the drive system up for going off-road and in slippery conditions. And if you've got the air suspension fitted, it also raises it up so you don't bottom out. Porsche's given this car a new moulded plastic reinforced fibre brake pedal assembly, which apparently is lighter, it's safer, and it makes the car feel more responsive under braking. The Porsche GT steering wheel has a driving mode control button here, nice and easy and close to hand, so it's dead easy to operate when you're just driving along. Also, listen to this, you can hear the exhaust valve opening when I go from comfort to sport mode. You can play a tune with that. The standard iron brakes on the turbo model have a surface that's coated in tungsten carbide, and that gives you a faster response under braking. Also, it means you have 90% less brake dust. Now, you can get that upgrade on the lesser versions of the Macan as well. Is the load height a little bit too tall for you? Well, don't worry, if you've got the air suspension, you can lower the car down by pressing this button in the boot. Oh yes, it's going lower. Definitely a lot more manageable now. All Porsches should offer a sporty driving experience, and so should the Macan then. So I'm going to put it into manual mode for the gearbox, the drive system in sport, so sharp throttle response, stiffer suspension, weighted steering. Just give it a go, see what we do. Oh, wait, this is not bad for an SUV. Running out of grip there, but held on. It feels rear wheel driving. Stability helping me out there. Oh, running a bit wide. Come on, be brave. Up and over. A little bit of air there. This definitely handles really well. You can have fun in this with your family in the back. They won't be having fun. You will be though. Don't think it's quite on the edge bonkers sports car-y as an Alfa Stelvio Quadrifoglio. If you want to see my video of that car, just click up there. But really, it's still pretty blooming good. The Macan may be all-wheel drive, but it can send up to 75% of the power to the rear wheels for that sporty driving experience. You can upgrade the car to have Porsche torque vectoring, essentially a limited slip differential over the rear axle, and that can send power to the rear wheel with most grip to help catapult you out of corners. As part of the midlife changes, Porsche has upgraded the suspension on the Macan and given it slightly better anti-roll bars than before. The normal Macan and Macan S have normal suspension. If you move it to the Turbo or the GTS, they then get adaptive suspension as standard, so you can alter the stiffness of the dampers. However, you can fit that system optionally to all versions of the Macan. You can also fit the car with optional air suspension for a real silky smooth ride, and that allows you to alter the ride height as well. One of the key upgrades on this new Macan is the much improved infotainment system. You've got a larger screen, it's a lot larger actually. It's nice and clear and it's reasonably easy to navigate through. The only problem is that the buttons to go through the different menus are a bit on the small side, so they're harder to push while you're driving along. You can customise the look of it, the home screen, by moving different tiles around if you want to. And of course you've got internet connectivity and you can use the car as a hotspot as well. It is pretty nice, and the sat nav's easy to use and to program. Yes, thank you, love. Also, you've got voice activation as well, as you've probably just noticed. Now, one of the things that I really like are the dials, the way you've got analog dials here for the speedo and the rev counter, but next to it you have a digital display where you can show lots of different things, including the satellite navigation if you want to have that shown up there as well. Really nice layout, a good solution, I think. Finally, let's talk about in-car storage and practicality in general. You've got a couple of cup holders there, which is decent size. Huge door bins, not absolutely huge. Decent storage area under here, and you've got 2 USB inputs there. There's actually another 2 USB inputs in the back for the rear passengers. The glove box is okay. There's my specialist timing gear. I lost that. You've got another bit of storage there. Don't know what you can put in there, but it does have a 12-volt socket if you need it. The door bins in the back are all right as well. And when you fold down the rear seats, look at this. Let me lean across. There we go. They do lie pretty much completely flat, so it's easy to slide heavier items to the front if you need to. The only thing is that the overall load capacity still isn't quite as big as you get with some of this car's key competitors. I think this Macan is a really good daily driver. Now, the versions with the normal suspension are a bit firm over bumps, but they're better with the adaptive dampers and better still with this air suspension. It's actually really, really good. I don't think it's still quite as wafty feeling as something like a Range Rover Velar. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, just click on the pop-out banner up there. The steering does have a bit of weight to it, but it's not too heavy when you're manoeuvring around town. Visibility is pretty decent. The view out the back's all right. You've got some big wing mirrors. There's not too much of a blind spot created by this pillar here. It's all very easy. Turning circles, okay, it's pretty much par for the course for this kind of car. It's around 12 metres, which I think is a few centimetres more than an Audi Q5's turning circle, but a few centimetres better than that of a BMW X3. Or maybe I've got it the other way around, I'm not sure. But yeah, easy to drive around town, and the gearbox can feel a little bit jerky when you're pulling away, but generally once you're on it and driving a bit quicker, it's very smooth and it's very responsive. So I'm just poodling along now and I suddenly need to overtake someone. I'm in comfort mode. Put my foot down, look at that, see it respond there, boom! Alright, slow down. Yeah, see how quick that picked up there, that gearbox, it's like bang, on it! That's German engineering for you right there. Very obedient. In fact, when you put it into manual, check this out, look, I'm going to put it into manual now, here we go. Watch this, change gear, look how quick it is. Change, pull change. Pull change, I can't even say quick enough. Pull change, there. If you're at speed on the motorway, it's generally pretty relaxing. You do get a bit of noise from the tyres. That's the only thing that really stands out, but it's not too bad. It's cool, I can do lots of miles in this. In terms of the economy, well, I'd like to tell you the economy of this car, but unfortunately I forgot to set the trip computer earlier, so since I've had it, 10 miles per gallon. That's because I've just been hooning it around filming the other bits and pieces. It's supposed to do around 24 miles per gallon. I reckon it should be there or thereabouts. Porsche being Porsche, let you turn this car stability control all the way off. So if you want to, you can act like a bit of a bell end. Oh, let's go the other way for a bit. There's a wall. Let's just stop. That's enough. Yeah, well, it will do it. Classic, eh? A car reviewer that makes himself car sick by driving irresponsibly. Serves me right. So then what's my final verdict on the Porsche Macan? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Macan. Now, it's one of the least spacious of this size of SUVs, but it's also one of, if not the most sportiest to drive. Do you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments section. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more videos, and if you click on the deals box to the right, you can see how much you can save on a new car at CarWow. Or click on the video windows below to watch another of my videos.